Hi everybody, how's it going? Oh my gosh, it's so hot here that people are trying to fry eggs on the sidewalks and stuff. Do you love that? I thought today I want to show you a couple fall-ish layouts that I've been working on, and I want to show you a cool technique for making leaves in case you are into also starting to make fall layouts. This is the Gnomes for Autumn special, and I've shown you this layout without photos, and I just wanted to show you that I did add some photos, and I added some of the cork leaf shapes. These are so fun to use. They're sticky on the back. They're pretty thin. And then you just stick them on like stickers, and they look so cool. So I just thought I'd share that because those are in that catalog currently, and they're a lot of fun to use. So I thought, okay, cool, I'll show you that. And this is an example of one of close to my heart's things that they really love to do is smaller photos, multiple smaller photos, maybe one 4x6. I have a tendency to scrapbook like mostly 4x6. I don't like to cut my pictures apart very much anymore. So when I pre-made this layout, it had a 3x4 spot here, a 4x4 spot here, and another 3x4 spot here. So the idea of this was to make three smaller photos, and I could have just cut this apart here and used part of it there and part of it there. It would have looked kind of cool anyway, like a puzzle, but I put it all together and I put it over that seam so you can kind of see. I left it, you can kind of see there's that 4-inch mat was right there. And then this had just a journaling sticker, and I needed a place for another 4x4 photo. And so, I just put it over it. So that's what I do on pre-made layouts. I get questions about, when you pre-make layouts, how do you know where your photos are going to go? And you don't always know, but you can make it work and it will be just fine. Here's another one made with the Gnomes for Autumn. This is that new color acorn, and this is the new color pumpkin. See, they've already started with the new colors, which is great. I added, so this one was set up for 4x6 and 2 3x4s. I did cut this one down. These were just pictures I snapped on our walk with our dog one evening last year. So I added more of those sticker cork shapes and some stamps where I stamped them, and then I just used a sponge to color them, sponge and ink to color them. And I think that looked pretty nice. So what's kind of cool about this special right here is that it coordinates with the paper that's in the current catalog, Cozy Up. The colors all kind of coordinate together. And so you can see I have been using the stickers, the sticker sheets, and I've been using them interchangeably. So some of the stickers from here I've been using on my gnome paper. Some of the stickers from here I've been using on my Cozy Up paper. They all kind of coordinate. And I have one more really cool layout. I have pictures of Jen with my mom reading books. And so I'm going to do another book themed layout with this paper. And then I think I'm down to scraps. And so that'll be probably the last layout that I do. I may switch to cards at that point. but it's okay because we're into a new catalog. Okay, so I want to show you, I'll show you the layout that I made first because I think it's gorgeous. It's kind of artsy looking, which is not always my style, but I wanted to show you how I did the techniques on this. If you look at this, there's very little pattern paper on the whole page. Basically, I matted my photos with scarlet cardstock, and then the leafy paper, let me grab it. This leaf paper, see I have a whole sheet left from Cozy Up, but this is from their bulk pack. And I wanted this to look fallish and leafy, and so I didn't really want to use the cork shapes. I love the look of tags popping up, and so I got out my tag dies to make those, although sometimes I just cut them. I mean, this one I just cut on my own. You can tell it's not as nice as the ones with the dies, but hey, whatever. And then the other thing I did was I got out some of my really old sets. So this one is a stamp of the month, you know, from last year. And a lot of you have it because it was during our Hostess Club month. And so these titles are too good to just tuck in a drawer and never use again. And knowing that they're going in different places in my books from year to year, it's not like I'll flip the page and I'll see grateful, grateful, grateful on every layout. So I can use these since I don't scrapbook in order. And so I just stamped that in Mocha ink and cut it out. And grateful for this life. There's a lot of different little messages on here, so that's what I used. So this is an old one that a lot of you have. The other one that I did was the pumpkin spice card making, and it's one of my favorites because it has all the fall icons and you don't have to color. It's all, when you see these black looking images, that means when they stamp in your ink, they're a solid. And so look at the acorns, for example. So I stamped the acorns in toffee, and then the top is in mocha, and I just cut them out. So I want to show you, but what I really want to show you is the leaves. So these textured leaves are on the stamp special, or they were if they're not sold out, because they're from the past. They are retired, and they were really inexpensive. I just got them. I missed them or didn't get them when they were in the catalog a couple years ago. And then I've seen so much artwork using them, and they're so kind of realistic looking that I decided to get them because there were, you know, normally a set of thin cuts and dies and stamps like this would be like $40 or something, or, you know, $35 for the whole set. And so they were really inexpensive on the clearance sale, and that clearance sale only goes till the end of August, so it's got like another week. But I love these, and what I did, so I want to show you how I did these techniques. Let me show them kind of closer. You can see there's like mottled color on the leaves, and I want to show you how I made that. Here's the second cluster on page 2. So you can see some of the leaves are like yellow and brown, have a little orange. Some have more orange. Some are a little more red. And I like that they look kind of real, right? And then you'll also notice the wheat cluster kind of thing. That's from this set again. I just kind of stamped it to make like the edge. And the other thing I did with these leaves is I kind of curled up the edges a little to make them more dimensional. And then I put a little foam tape behind a few of them in certain spots just so it wouldn't get mashed in my book too much. Because I want a little, I don't know, dimension. And you could wrinkle them up even or something. But I like that it looks a little bit dimensional, okay? So let's look at, let me show you this. This is my quick technique of the day. What you need is like scratch paper, cardstock, and you can use watercolor cardstock if you have it, but I just use plain old, you know, white daisy. You need a variety of leaf colors, right? And so here's what I'm going to do. You guys are going to be like, eh. This is an all-purpose mat. You could use wax paper, a paper plate, a glass, something glass would work really well. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some colors down like this. So I have, some poked me. First I thought I had my needle there. I have like a needle in my glue, and these are magnetic, so every now and then it sticks to it. And then I'm gonna put a little toffee on there too. Okay, so I have these mushes of different colors of ink, right? And you can use 1, 2 colors, whatever you want. And now this is just water. I'm just gonna spritz it with water. And the idea is to make it puddle up like that. Okay. Now this is where it gets a little weird. So I'm sorry this bag is so big. I usually just use like, you know, a sandwich bag or something. But this is just packaging from a sticker set or something that I got. And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my hand inside and bunch it up, okay? And then I'm going to splush it on like that. Now, when I do it like this, that is how I did my background. You can kind of see that technique right there. That's how I did my background. I did that in papaya ink, right? Now, in addition, if you like how that looks, you can just keep going and add different colors and until you have this mush look. The other thing that you can do if you don't want to do the paper bag, it makes your paper a little wetter, but you can take your paper and just tap it into the color and you'll get more of a wash look. So, and then let's just say, okay, that's got a lot of yellow. I really want more red. I can kind of tap it into the color that I need more of, right? Okay, and then when you have your paper done, just wipe that off. And I use my heat tool to heat it up and dry it. You can see it's pretty wet. And if you use your heat tool to dry your paper, it'll flatten out. And you don't really have to worry about like ink in your scrapbooks or whatever. They're archival in that they're acid free and that kind of thing. I don't worry now with how easy it is to make more photos. I don't worry as much about like, what if it got wet? I'm like, well, everything would be ruined if it got wet. I lived through, we had a pipe burst and I had scrapbooks on the floor of the room where why did I keep them so close to the floor? I don't know, but they totally got soaked. And even with all the water that was in there, I mean, we had to take up carpet. We were sloshing in it. It was over our feet. Even with all that water, my layouts still stayed in pretty good shape. So I feel like I've lived through my worst scenario. I guess the worst scenario might be a fire. That would be horrible. God forbid. I should knock on wood. Okay. Anyway, but here's what that looks like. And then the other thing that I did just to add, let me find my gold. I really love the gold shimmer brushes and things like that. And so you can spatter gold onto it. And if you feel like you can't get enough, you can squeeze some out on your table and it'll give you more splotches like this. And the gold just, wow, it really makes it very fallish, you know what I mean? Okay. Wipe it up fast though, because it will stain. Like you can see I have a few stains on my mat, but so you can see there's some gold. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so I'm just gonna let that one sit for a moment because I don't want to get out my die cut machine. I'm gonna show you what I did. So here's my pieces where I did a little combo of both techniques. So this was more splatting it into the water, and then I did a few where I did some red on the top or some orange on the top, and I ended up with something like this. Isn't that cool? And so all you have to do at that point is grab your leaves and stamp on top. So like I just die cut a bunch of leaf shapes out of that weirdo looking paper. And then I'm just gonna use my mocha ink. Make sure it's inked up good. And then you just put it right on there. And I hold it just for an extra second, just so that, you know, it'll absorb good or whatever. But look at that leaf. It's so cool. It's so detailed. And even the gold splotch that I had in the middle that I thought, ooh, that might not look good, it looks just fine, just fine. And then I kind of crinkle them up a little. And then when you can put adhesive right in the center and, you know, like tuck them in, you know, you just tuck them wherever you, underneath your layout, wherever you want them to be. So that is how I did this layout. So beautiful. And it was really easy because when I did my pieces, look how many I cut all at once. So I basically had like all of my leaves ready, and awesome, just awesome. So that is how I did this page. I think it'd be great for Thanksgiving, any fall pictures, but I just love how these turned out. And I love the texture and the layers. So you think about, like, I smushed onto the actual base. You can see I splattered some of the mocha around, so it doesn't really have a lot of white space in that. It has a lot of little dots splattered all over the page. So that's kind of how I started with the base. And then, you know, you have all I kind of figured out where my pictures were going to go in my clusters, and then I was able to stamp in the background. So that's my favorite one. And then that's just a sticker from the, I think that's from the gnome sticker sheet. I think that one might be from the Cozy Up one. I've used them so interchangeable, I can't tell you which one it's from now. So cool. Hi, Stephanie. All right. So that is what I wanted to show today. I know, short and sweet, but I just wanted to give you some ideas for using your inks because, you know, we all spend so much money on these inks, and then, you know, they're not just for stamping. I mean, look at how cool that is. And it's my kind of technique in that I didn't have to, you know, detail color that in. So I think that's fun. And also a reminder to go in and get out some of your old stamp sets that you might not be using anymore. Like, it's so easy for us to kind of move on and, ooh, look at the new leaves, look at the new pumpkins. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have tons of pumpkins. I need to get them out. I have tons of leaves. I need to get them out. And before I buy more, right? And I did not have any like these. So these are the ones that I bought this year. They're not even like technically current. They're on the retired, they were on the clearance sale. So cool. I love them. I'll probably use them every year now because I love them. So I'm really glad I splurged. Okay, try to stay nice and cool. Stay indoors. I have a few errands to run, and then I am going to stay indoors the rest of the day. My plumber was here yesterday all day, and now my house here is officially done, other than touching up a little bit of trim paint. My house over here is done. Anybody want to come play? You want to make Christmas cards this weekend? Steve and Jen are going to a ball game, so it'd be great. Okay, have a great weekend. Chat later.